Vanessa Lachey has opened up about the chemistry with her NCIS co-star Wilmer Valderrama. But is there anything more to this chemistry, or is it just professional? Vanessa Lachey finally talked about Wilmer Valderrama. The actress who plays Special Agent Jane Tennant in the Hawaii version of the crime franchise was chatting about her long-running relationship with the actor ahead of the epic crossover episode which aired last week. She talked about how she's been grateful how nothing ever happened to mess up their friends. More importantly, there's nothing going on between the two, because she mentioned how they have more of a brother-sister bond. Oops. Sorry, Wilmer. The man got bro-zoned hard. But their chemistry is so spot on that some people would be inclined to think that there's something going on. Like, did you watch the crossover episode? It was a very, very good episode. Let's just start off there. This was the episode where an old romance between Vanessa and Wilmer's characters got teased. NCIS has also hinted that the two have met before, but it never really led to anything. Who knows? Maybe they're thinking about linking these supposed brother-sisters together in the show, which is kind of gross now that we know what kind of light Vanessa thinks of Wilmer in, but it is what it is. Actually, they both go way back, and getting the chance to be on the show with a person she's super comfortable with has been great for her. Needless to say, Vanessa Lachey is extremely grateful to be on NCIS Hawaii. So grateful that she cried a little while talking about the show during an interview. She literally walked onto the stage with tears in her eyes on the Talk Monday. Even though she said she wasn't going to get emotional, you have to realize that she kind of made history by being one of the first female leads. As far as Wilmer is concerned, she talked about their amazing chemistry in the 3-hour special crossover. In their first crossover, the plot foreshadowed a possible romantic connection between the two agents. But obviously, there's nothing like that happening off-screen. Lachey says she and him ended up becoming like brother and sister throughout the decades. When she looks at how they both met, she talks about how long she's actually known him. And they've both come up with a backstory, apparently. But her lips were sealed about what that backstory is. At least until the NCIS universe crossover eventually happens. For now though, let's just focus on Vanessa Lachey and how NCIS Hawaii changed her life. In fact, NCIS Hawaii got her close to her childhood dreams. She always wanted to play Lara Croft or Wonder Woman. Lucky for her, she got to play both in a way with their character. It makes sense too, because her character does it all. Not only is she a SAC of Hawaii and the Pacific Rim, but she's also a friend. It's actually really amazing to see how the writers managed to conjure up a character that's loved by fans all over the world. Plus, her character got to represent both Hawaii and LA in this crossover. It wasn't hard for Vanessa to do this crossover either, apparently, because she doesn't think it's difficult in terms of the script, because at the end of the day, all these different NCIS shows are part of one big franchise. Sure. Yeah, logistically speaking, it can be a nightmare, but LL Cool J and O'Donnell have just been a breeze to gel with. So ultimately, NCIS's crossover events go as smooth as butter because they're all in this together. Plus, there's no attitude from any of the crew or the cast. That makes filming all the more enjoyable for everyone. Vanessa actually learns a lot watching all the amazing actors on NCIS, so even she enjoys being on set with them, even when she's running on fumes. That is just how wholesome this whole NCIS team is when it comes to these crossovers. Never has Vanessa Lachey ever talked about having a bad day week, or even month because of the amazing experience, which makes shooting these crossovers all the more meaningful. Or, as she'd like to say, it's meaningful on so many levels, not just for me as a woman, as a mother, but also me as a minority. But being a mother with a family back home, it's hard for her to compartmentalize, which makes everything emotionally taxing for her. What about the physical parts of it all, though? Did Vanessa ever want to play such a physical role? No, of course not. But as I already mentioned, her wanting to play Wonder Woman and Lara Croft, it's always been something at the back of her head. Heck, who knows? Maybe she subconsciously manifested this. Like every young girl growing up in America, she always looked up to Wonder Woman and got more into characters like Lara Croft because of how badass she was. We've all been there, right, ladies? Needless to say, Vanessa Lachey has always dreamt of being a strong woman. It doesn't matter if it was Wonder Woman or Lara Croft. And when she got the opportunity to audition for Jane, she knew right then and there that this is what she's always been searching for. But with Jane, she got to be a badass but with some grace and warmth added into the mix. I guess you could say this is where the Wonder Woman aspect kicks in. Wonder Woman is literally as graceful as they come, and Vanessa got to learn about Hawaiian culture during her time with NCIS as well. The history of the island is extra, but it's also part of her job. This means it's a very important part of her job description as Jane. The island of Oahu and all of the islands of Hawaii are a character in NCIS, and Vanessa loves that the mothership and LA get to experience that. It's actually called mana, it's when you feel it, and the ana is the land, and this is what truly made her feel like a part of the show, which in a way grounded her as well. Sure, it was hard for her and her family when she was constantly moving back and forth between LA and Hawaii, but she loved it so much that her entire family ended up moving there. The big question is, will her husband ever get a guest starring role soon? Not gonna lie, they've already talked about it, but they've all come to a mutual agreement and they'll do it when the time is right. I don't see why they wouldn't either. I mean, could you? Let's be real. As much as Vanessa wanted to be Lara Croft, her husband has always wanted to be an action star like Bruce Willis. So it's gonna happen eventually, just maybe not right away. Sure, it might be awkward at first because Nick isn't really comfortable acting, but from what I'm hearing, he's really into singing. You know what would be really interesting? If he made a guest appearance and started singing some Hawaiian music. Better yet, he could even show up as an old friend of Jane's. The possibilities are endless. Either way, Nick saw the first season and how his wife handled her role, so he's pretty stoked about it and would love to play a role in it after witnessing how badass his wife is in NCIS Hawaii. Nick even talked to the showrunners and they're open to any ideas he has for them. Of course, it'll take some time before they decide what would suit him best, but at least it's on the cards, right? Where could Nick possibly fit in best? Let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next one.